India ranks 126 out of 136 countries across the world when it comes to the World Happiness Index. Now, this is a report that's published by the United Nations every year, and the results are as per the latest report for the year 2023. Now, United Nations obviously collect their data from a survey company called Gallup Inc. And that's where they source the data from to calculate the World Happiness Index. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How can I believe the result of a survey that tells me how happy or sad I am when I haven't even taken that survey ever? In fact, the Minister of External Affairs for India, the very famous Mr. Jaishankar, also has dismissed the results of this report because he says that that's a very Western way of looking at happiness, and it does not consider things that Indians prioritize for their happiness. But whatever said and done, truth be told, citizens of all the countries across the world have things to be happy about and to be sad about. And India has its own list too. So as Indians, we can be happy about things such as the vast and distributed UPI network that enables us to make payments through our phones really quickly. It does not require us to carry cash around everywhere. Also, India is known to have the cheapest calling rates as compared to any other country in the world. One of the cheapest for sure. So it becomes very affordable for us to make domestic calls within the country. The same goes with the internet rates. We also have certain other conveniences that come cheap for us, such as affordable house helps like maids and cooks and cleaners, so on. If you were to afford a maid or a cook in a Western country, for example, you would have to be really rich to be able to afford something like that. Whereas in India, even the lower middle class families can afford these kind of things. India also has a few things to be sad about. We always compare ourselves with the West and say, oh, we should have that kind of an infrastructure in our country, like the roads or the city planning, for example. Or we complain about the average individual income. So we look at the average individual income of people across the country. Obviously, India falls very low in that. So that's something that we feel sad about. We feel sad about the corruption in our country or the crime in our country. And the list goes on. So we've got things that we can be happy about. We've got a list of things that we can be sad about. But as they say, happiness is just a state of mind. So can it then be that Indians can actually be happier even if the existing conditions continue to prevail? Now, there's a big difference when you say, I want to be happy versus when you say, I don't want to be sad. The results in almost 99% cases will be that the people that say, I want to be happy will end up being happier than the people that say, I don't want to be sad. The difference between that is actually that when you say you don't want to be sad, you still are concentrating on the word sad and everything else that is associated with it. And so your mind is preoccupied with that word and everything else that relates to it. And hence, more often than not, although you want to avoid it, you end up making that bigger than it should be. So as Indians, I think we need to understand that our happiness is our own responsibility. We need to stop looking outside in order to feel happy. We need to stop looking at the conditions around us, the money we have, our relationships. Those do matter, of course. But then our happiness is our own responsibility. And once we realize that, we will learn how to be happier even with our existing conditions. Now, I've been making a series of videos on what Indians should be asking from the upcoming government in the upcoming elections in 2024 so that our country becomes even better than what it is. And this is the last of that series, and you can go watch the rest of the series on my channel. But to conclude this video, what we should be asking from the government is the list that makes us sad as Indians. If they have plans on improving on those things like the infrastructure, the average income of every Indian, the corruption or the crime, if they've got good plans and good ways of governing those plans once they are implemented, then that should be the government that we should be voting into power in this coming year. So I hope you really think about all of these factors that I've spoken of in this series and make an informed decision when you cast your votes this coming year for India's general election. Now, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and please like this video and share this with other Indians. And also, let me know in the comment section below on whether you agree or you have a different thought about this whole video around happiness. I'll see you in the next video.